Alright guys, I'm going to teach you window scheduling. Talked about this at the Rep Development Conference. A lot of people have been asking me about it, so I figured I'd just make a video because it's something that's very difficult to explain in writing. It's difficult to explain without having a piece of paper. So basically with window scheduling, the question is, what would you do? What would it mean to you to be able to have, if you get no-showed, canceled, or rescheduled, if you could just go straight to your next appointment and you didn't have to worry about, didn't have to sit around for 2 hours. What if there's basically no stress at all when you have an appointment that goes over, like because you're spending a lot of time trying to sell them on the cookware or the flatware or on the upgrade or whatever it is, or when you have an appointment that's really, really short, again, you're not sitting around for a bunch of time. One of the coolest things is you're never late when you do window scheduling. You're pretty much never late to any appointment, no matter when it is. And by far the best thing is that it allows you to do more appointments in less time. Evelyn Comer had over $30,000 for the push. She said that there were 2 tips that took her from a $20,000 push to a $30,000 push. Because 4 years in a row at the Rep Development Conference, she's had right around a 20K push. This was her first ever 30K push, and she's one of my coaching clients. She said that window scheduling was one of the primary things that helped her go from 20K to 30K this year. The way window scheduling works is you tell the customer, it's just like, the cable guy, the roofing guy, or pretty much anyone else that goes to Mrs. Jones's house. They don't come on a specific time, they come in a specific time frame. So you just tell Mrs. Jones, you know how the cable guy says he's coming sometime between 6 a.m. and midnight, and you have no idea when he'll be there? And she goes, yeah. Well, I don't do that at all. I'll give you a 1-hour window, and I call right before I come so you'll know exactly when I'm coming. Now that's what I say. If you don't want to call them before you come, which I know some of you don't do, that's totally fine. You don't have to. You just say, I give you a 1-hour window so that you'll know when I'm coming. And then you say, so I'm going to be coming sometime between 8 and 9, sometime between 9:30 and 10:30. When you're shooting for times, you just say, you just do your regular approach. I'm going to be in your area. I can come by Saturday in the morning. I could come by sometime between 8 and 9, or I could come by a little later, sometime between 9:30 and 10:30. They don't know that this is a unique approach, that this is a new approach that you're trying out. So they're not going to say, well, can't you come at an exact time? Because the way you set it up is the way they perceive things. You're in charge when you're on the phone, if you're doing your phone time correctly. So how do you actually put this into your schedule? I know that's something that a lot of people have asked me questions about. Here's how this works. If you're looking at your schedule, you just write down, take a piece of paper, write down 8. This is if you have a 2-hour, if you normally schedule 2 hours in between each appointment. If you normally schedule 3 or 4 because you have really long appointments, you can figure out how to adapt this for that. But let's just say you're normally doing 2 hours between each appointment. You write down 8, and you write down in a vertical column like this: 8, 9:30, 11, 12:30, and let's say 2 o'clock. That's if you wanted to do 5 appointments that day. First appointment of the day is fixed. It's at exactly 8 o'clock, so it's just like a normal schedule. First appointment of the day is at a fixed time. Because if you have it at 8 to 9, and you show up at 9 for your first appointment, it's going to screw up the whole rest of it. There's no reason to do window scheduling. So just show up for your first one on time at 8. Now, for the rest of them, you take 9:30, you write a dash next to it, and then you write 10:30. For 11, you write a dash next to it, write a 12. For 12:30, you write a dash to it, next to it, write 1:30. For 2 o'clock, you write a dash to it, you write next to it, you write 3 o'clock. So it looks like this. So this is what it looks like inside my actual planner. It'll say 8 o'clock, Susie Jones, address, phone number. 9:30 to 10:30. And this lets me know that I'm not going to be there from 9:30 to 10:30, but that's the time window I'm going to be there in. So I have a slot sometime between 9:30 and 10:30, and that's when I'm due at the next appointment. So Betty Jones. Then I'm going to go see Sally sometime between 11 and 12. So this is the schedule to use if it's normally 2 hours between each of your appointments. If your appointments are quick or short or close together, and you normally do an hour and a half in between them. So notice here, we're doing an hour and a half in between each appointment instead of 2. That gives you more appointments in the same amount of time. If you're doing, I used to do 2 hours in between each appointment, which meant the most that I could realistically do in a day was 7 appointments. I do a 9, I do 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. So unless I wanted to do a 6 a.m. or a 10 p.m. a demo, I wouldn't be able to do more than 7 in a day. Because of this, I can do 9 in a day. And I did that twice during SC2 last year, and I had a $20,000 push. So now, if you normally do an hour and a half apart, then do your window scheduling 1 hour apart. If you do 1 hour apart, this is really powerful because you can do 10, 12, 14 appointments in a day. And that's what Evelyn was doing when she had her 30K push. So you can do, so if you want to do that, just write down in a vertical column, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Okay, this would be if you want to do 6 appointments. Right, and again, your first one of the day is an 8 a.m. and that's fixed. Right, and these don't have to be specific numbers. If you don't start your day till noon or whatever, it doesn't matter. This just gives you the principle. I'm sure you guys can figure it out how to adjust this. So next to your 9, you write a dash and a 10. Next to your 10, you write a dash, you write an 11. Next to your 11, you write a dash, you write 12. Next to your 12, you write a dash, you write a 1. Next to your 1, you write a dash, you write a 2. So this is the same thing. Your 8 a.m. is an 8 a.m. You show up on time. You're probably going to be done at 8:30, 8:45. Well, your next one's not till, it's a window between 9 and 10. So if you want to take your girlfriend out to breakfast, or if you want to take a nap or go throw the frisbee or whatever, you've got time to do that. But since it's the beginning of the day, if in a day like this when you have 6 appointments, you probably want to try to get to your next one fast. So you get to your 9 a.m., right? And you're probably done by 9:45, 10 o'clock. But if it goes over, let's say it goes all the way till 10:30 because the customer has trouble deciding or whatever. What's cool is, well, now it's 10:30, but you don't have to be at your next one till 11. So just in the nick of time, you get to your 11, you breeze through it. Your next one, you're there at 11:45. Right, next time you get no-showed, then you just go straight to your next one. So this is really powerful, and it's something that I teach pretty much everyone that I coach. So I hope this is very helpful because a lot of people have been asking me about it. So thanks, guys.